What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben gaming video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day as always, and today we are talking about the Nintendo Switch and the collection I have been collecting for a little while. I have not been a physical person forever in terms of collecting games, but I've recently got into collecting games. As you've probably seen from my channel, we've recently done a PS Vita collection as well. If you haven't checked that out, then do if you're interested in it. But we're going to go through my Switch collection today. I've collected a few games over the last couple of years. I'm planning on really ramping that up and making sure I have even more physical games for the Switch because I love the platform. And we're going to make a start. So we've got Stardo Valley to start off with, a phenomenal game. I actually haven't opened the physical copy because I have it digitally on my Switch, so I'm going to keep this one sealed because, to be honest, I just love this game, and why open it when I have a digital copy? You know, keep the sealed copy really nice and good. So we have Stardo Valley for the first game. Now, of course, we've got the usual great Switch games like Super Smash Bros. Absolutely phenomenal game. I just love the Smash Bros games, and to be honest, this was one of the best ones ever released. We have Super Mario 3D All-Stars, obviously the trilogy of games, Mario 64, or Super Mario 64, sorry, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy, all three of those games in one collection. This one's really held its value. I can't remember if I'm right or wrong, but I think this is the game that, like, when it launched, it was limited by Nintendo. They didn't sell many copies, and you had to basically pre-order it to get one, or you wouldn't get one. So that was something that was really interesting. I don't know why they did it. If it was this game, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But great game, and yeah. Move on to the next one. Now, the next one's probably my top game ever on Switch, and maybe even on most consoles, and that is Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I actually probably am going to get insulted in the comments, please don't be too rude, but I actually think I prefer this one over the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, and I want to say why before everyone completely ranges at me, because obviously Tears of the Kingdom was a phenomenal game. It added some great new mechanics and stuff, but the only reason I prefer this one is because it launched with the Switch, okay? Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom, it improves upon this in so many different ways, but nostalgia-wise, getting the Switch and playing this day one, this is still my favorite Zelda game, just because it launched on the Switch on day one, and it was the first thing you could play. You had this beautiful open world that you could play docked or in handheld mode. It was just so cool and revolutionary, and I would put this one above so many other games. It's the same reason a lot of people would say a certain old game is better than a new game. Obviously, the new game is better because it's graphically better, looks better, plays better, but you prefer the old one because it's just like sentimental value, right? So that's why I would always put that one as the top game. In fact, you're going to realize that I don't have Tears of the Kingdom as a physical. I have it as a digital. I do need to get it as a physical. I was actually away when that game launched, so I wanted to just play it because obviously I wanted to play it. So I picked it up digitally. But anyway, Animal Crossing, phenomenal game. When obviously the things went to crap in the world, this game launched at the perfect time, and I poured hours and hours and hours into this game over the course of the first few weeks of the launch when we were all locked indoors, we couldn't go outside. This was a great escape, and to be honest, I appreciate this game so much for that, because mentally it helped me just feel so much better about life just playing this game and going to the island and forgetting what's going on in the current world, because it's just yeah, it was a miserable time, right? But that was awesome to have and help us through it. And to be honest, I played a ton of hours of it, and then I kind of stopped after a while and never kind of dived back in. But yeah, anyway, we got Splatoon 2, obviously fairly early on in the Switch life cycle, was the first kind of shooting game on the Switch, was really good. But obviously there's sequels now. We've got The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, fantastic little HD port, really enjoyable. Some of the controls were a little bit questionable, but overall, fantastic game. Obviously, it's a Zelda game, all brilliant. Super Mario Maker 2, this was good. I wish I'd played a bit more of it. I kind of bought it and then played a decent amount of levels, but just stopped. So I need to go back and dive into that a little bit more because I know there's so much I can do. This game is probably one of my favorite Mario games of all time. I absolutely love this game. Me and my girlfriend played it through, 100%ed it without failure. Literally was, well, with a lot of failure, but without failure, we 100%ed the game. It was phenomenal. I love this game. I just love how simple this one is. The new one was brilliant. I can't remember what it's even called. You guys will know, but this was just my favorite one because it's so simple. Just reminds me of playing it on my DS. It was one of my first games on DS, was the platforming game, and I just love those basic Mario games. I have to speak again on Zelda because this game is phenomenal. I would put this as probably my second favorite game on Switch, potentially, over next to Breath of the Wild. This was just so good. I loved the way they did this game. It was... Man, I want to go back and replay this, just looking at the back of the artwork and all the dungeons and stuff and just how phenomenal it was. I didn't realize I was never a big Zelda fan until the Switch, really, so again, I'm probably going to get crucified for that, but I'm very new to the Zelda franchise as of the Nintendo Switch. In fact, Zelda Breath of the Wild was my first Zelda game. I'm probably going to get crucified for that, but this was awesome, and I didn't realize how hard it was. They don't really tell you a lot on what you need to do in the game. We've got Overwatch. This was just a download code, unfortunately. Hate that. We've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, of course, because you have to have a Mario Kart game on Switch. It's brilliant. You get all the courses that you've got throughout the years. Obviously, they're adding DLC courses and stuff where you can pay for your Nintendo subscription stuff for online, and you get like a load of DLC courses and courses that have been on the Nintendo DS, the Game Boy, all those versions. You've got Wolfenstein, which again, download code, just severely disappointing. Mario Strikers Football League was a disappointment of a game. If you know, you know. It just wasn't very packed out for a game that cost as much as it did. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, phenomenal game. Just brilliant with this awesome open world on Switch. It just looks great. It plays great. It's just phenomenal. If you haven't played Xenoblade, definitely dive in. In fact, that was my first Xenoblade game, so I have a ton of games to play. And following on from my first games trend, this was my first ever Pokemon game. In fact, I streamed a lot of this on my Twitch, so if you haven't followed my Twitch, do consider going there, because sometimes I stream when I can. But we have, Pokemon Sword, obviously. Perfect game. Everyone was telling me on the stream that it was one of the better ones I could have started off with as my Pokemon franchise, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Again, another franchise I need to dive into more, play more of the games. I have so many games I need to dive into. It's ridiculous. Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is a game that I really enjoyed, but to be honest with you, I am not a huge turn-based strategy fan, which I'm annoyed at. I wish I was, because there are so many turn-based games on Switch. But I loved the atmosphere, I loved the characters, I loved the game, but the gameplay for me, I just really struggle with turn-based stuff. I find it very hard to be engaged into the action. It might just be a me problem, probably is, but I might try it again one day. Luigi's Mansion 3, brilliant game. Graphically was really nice on the OLED. I can't remember if it launched near the OLED. No, I don't think it did. But this was awesome. Brilliant game. Graphically nice and just all round just very, very fun. We got Battle of Princess Madeline. This is, if you haven't seen a physical copy very often, it's a limited run game. I did pick this up. You get some amazing goodies and cards and nice things in there, as you do with the limited run collector's games. But this is fantastic. I just love limited run, to be honest. We have Metroid Dread, one of the best games on Switch. Again, I'm going to be saying that a lot, to be honest. Top 5 easily. This is the one that launched with the OLED, and because of all those dark, gorgeous colors, it looks phenomenal on OLED. So that's a really, really, really good game. If you want to check that out, then absolutely do, because it's brilliant. Again, first of the franchise for me. Never played a Metroid game before. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, recently picked this up. Obviously, this is one of the newer ones. I talked about this in my collection update for February, which was posted a couple of days back. But this was a brilliant game. I went away for a weekend, had no internet, and this was just perfect game to just dive into in the evenings when we had some downtime. And it's just brilliant. It's just great puzzle game. A little frustrating in some places, but it was still really, really fun to play. And onto my final game, which is a really odd one because it's worth quite a significant amount of money now. That is a limited run game, and it's Stranger Things 3, the limited run entertainment game. And it's basically a Stranger Things game, and it's really, really, really cool. It's limited run. There's some really good goodies in there. I don't want to open it because I really like to keep these things nice, but It's really cool game. If you haven't checked it out, you could download it on the store for very cheap. But of course, being me, I wanted to get the nice limited run collector's edition of this. It's worth well over £100 now, and I certainly didn't pay that much for it. So, we have that, but that is the end of my collection. We have a significant amount of games. I definitely want to improve it. Obviously, people have thousands of Switch games, but this is it. That's the whole lot of them. We're getting there with it. Again, as I said, if you haven't watched my channel, you can see in the last month or two, I've really got back into collecting games because I just really missed that. So if you want to watch some of those videos, do go back. We've done a PS Vita video. We did a PS5 collection update. We'll probably do more as well, but obviously every month I will do my my shopping spree of what I bought in the month. At the end of March, we'll talk about what games I got. But that's it for this video. Please do consider leaving a like. Please do subscribe if you are new to the channel. And yeah, you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye-bye for now.